Has there ever been a point in your life where you feel lost, misguided, you don't have a sense of direction? You see, I think a lot of people like to look at what's ahead, the next step forward, versus throwing that in reverse and thinking from where you want to be at in the future and then going back a couple of steps. For example, a lot of people have an idea of, maybe I can get into this job, maybe it can supply me with enough finances to live a comfortable life. What I like to think is you think about the type of lifestyle that you want, so it's very lifestyle focused, and then you work back from there. So let's say you want a lifestyle of traveling around the world, making $10,000 a month, and having a little bit more free time on your hands. Well, you got to think about one, what job can I do remotely? So it has to do, some online work. Secondly, okay, what can I be doing that can provide me at least over $10,000 a month? Typically sales is something that someone would jump to, maybe consulting. And then lastly, the time aspect, for this particular lifestyle that someone could have envisioned for themselves. How can I work a job where I don't have to put in so much time and then I'm able to, still be able to pull in at least $10,000 a month while also having that location freedom? Sales and consulting is, a really good option for this. The point of this video isn't really to be giving work advice or anything like that. This is mostly about life. So there's 3 things that need to be considered. The first one is, if you don't know what direction you're headed in, at least have an idea of the destination that you want to get to. This is very, very, very important. Reason being is, it doesn't really matter the direction if you have no idea what type of destination that you're trying to get to. So you can definitely be going in one direction that's leading you to a destination that you don't even care to be going to. So why even put the effort, the time, anything that you can tack onto that list, money, sacrificing relationships, all these things to be considered. So it's really, really vital to know what destination you're actually trying to get to. The second thing to consider is the vehicle that you're going to take to get to that destination. So a good example of this is, sure, you can make $100,000 eventually if you're working at a minimum wage job. Is it going to take a long time? Yeah, so it's probably going to be a slower car that you're going to be driving. Or if you did something like, let's say, real estate, for example, especially in this market, you can be getting to that $100,000 goal much sooner. So, maybe it's like a C-Class Mercedes instead of like a broken down 1970s like Honda. So understanding what vehicles are going to get you to that destination are very, very, very vital. Of course, you don't want to throw away, things that you're passionate about, but for some time, it is worth sacrificing the things that you're passionate about in order to get to that said destination. So then you have the time, the finances, etc., in order to enjoy those things that you're passionate about and maybe even make a business around it. And then lastly, the third thing is to have an abundant mindset. So what does it mean to have an abundant mindset? Someone with an abundant mindset views the world without limiting beliefs. They recognize that there's an abundance of food, there's an abundance of land, there's an abundance of money. All these things come in abundance. There's not a small amount of them. The economy, the news, the internet will have you believe that there is a small amount of it. However, if you adapt that mindset, you set these limiting beliefs upon yourself. A limiting belief is something where, you think that you can't do this because XYZ. So you think that you can't go to school because you're not smart enough, or you don't have the money to pay for college tuition, and insert anything into any of these boxes here that, suits your situation. And if you can do so, that probably means that you have some limiting beliefs about yourself. Granted, if you're a man and you're 5'2" and you want to go into the NBA, yeah, the likelihood of that happening isn't super likely. So some limiting beliefs are in place off of a rationale, but most of them are just fear-based. And I like to think of fear as false evidence appearing real. You see, a lot of us will think that, we're not capable, or that they're going to think that we're silly, or it worked for them, but it won't work for me. And all these thoughts come from a place of fear. Is it advantageous? Sure, sometimes. But most of the time, it's just your brain wanting to play it safe. You know, our brain craves comfort, safety, security, all these things. But the world that we live in doesn't reward security, safety. It rewards risk taking, jumping off the cliff, going for it. And maybe some of you, if you're, younger in your teens or early 20s, you've had parents that say, hey, this is the route that you should be going down. This is a safer route. And by all means, they have your best interest in mind. That's coming completely from a place of love. But it's also coming from a place of fear. Fear that, maybe they won't make it. A fear that maybe they don't have the skills to do what they're trying to set out to do. You can insert anything into these boxes here. The point being is, with an abundant mindset, these things are gone. Limiting beliefs are held in place with people that don't have abundant mindsets. Once you start seeing the world from an abundant point of view, you're able to really understand, why that person down the street has that nice car and you don't. It's because they went out there and got it. And yeah, that's a simple thing to grasp and understand. Cool. But they only went out there and got it because they thought that they could do it. Like artists who, have tens of millions of plays on their music. The only reason that they even thought they could do it is because they believed in themselves. They thought they had potential. I'm sure friends were probably saying, hey, like that's silly, like we shouldn't be doing that. Whatever. Parents might say, hey, that's not the most viable option. Maybe go to college instead. But we have stories pop up every day about these young individuals or people that were set in careers in their 30s and 40s, and they break out of that and they do something completely different, and it ends up being extremely successful for them. They obviously had some destination in mind. The direction they were going was not fitting them, until eventually they switched their direction and really matched it with that destination. And that's why it's so important to understand the destination that you're actually trying to get to, so that you're not caught up in going into the wrong direction and wasting years and years and suffering, and maybe even losing money, all these things. You'd rather rid yourself of, experiencing them. So that's why it's so vital to have, a real destination in mind. So you might be asking, how do you adopt an abundant mindset? First things first to understand, life isn't supposed to be fair. You're supposed to suffer. And a lot of you might think like, oh, that sounds awful. I'm clicking off of this video, suffering, ill, gross. That's your brain trying to play that comfort, that safety card, and hold you down. The thing is, when you experience some sort of suffering, that invigorates your soul to seek abundance because you no longer want to suffer. And if you're one of those people that believes, I no need to endure suffering, I'm okay, like I can grow without it, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, that's just a cute little lie that your brain is telling you in order to maintain that security, that safety. But that's not really what's going to do anything for you. So something I would suggest, stop listening to your brain. Your brain's not here to help you out. Believe it or not. It's a lot of fun to, play those video games or go on social media or watch that show and then click that next episode or keep swiping down on your phone. It's a lot of fun. Or, in Call of Duty, play that next match. Why not? It's only 10-15 minutes. Your brain's not here to help you out. And the sooner that you understand that, the better that will be for you. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like, your brain was developed in order to keep you surviving. It is what it is. But to believe that listening to everything that your brain says is what's going to help you get to that next level, truth be told, it's typically not. Until you've trained your brain to seek resistance. But that's a whole other topic for another video. Understand that you are completely capable of getting to your destination with the right plan. Your first plan doesn't need to be perfect. It typically never is. But that is a stepping stone, a learning opportunity that will then promote your growth. It will promote you to making better ideas, better decisions. And it's just about repeating that process over and over and over and over and over again. That's how you really find your direction. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please smash that like button. Feel free to subscribe for more content like this. Also, I post trading content. More of that's going to be coming. And yeah, guys, I'll catch you later.